Hi, everyone. Well, let's review a bottle that I have not seen or tasted in several years, but it's definitely a bottle that is one of the better values out there. And it's a bottle that if you know, you know. Let's review Old Grandad 114. That's right. This bottle is one of those that you don't see everywhere. At least I don't. Have not even seen this in a store in several years and certainly not tasted it. But a few years ago, when I was not into high rye bourbons yet, as I am developing into that now, I found this bottle on a shelf. I know this. A lot of people say this is a very, maybe not one of the more attractive bottles, and I happen to like. There's something about it I like. I just like the look of this bottle. But it's definitely one of them that doesn't get the attention that some other bottles do. Certainly not like the old Grandad, the whole line, and its cousin or sibling, Basil Hayden, which we'll get into in a minute, certainly has what they say is maybe the nicer looking bottles, but I think this is the better value. So this is the deal. This isn't a line of the old Grandad. You have the old Grandad, the basic one, which is the 80 proof, which at one point was 86 proof, and they lowered that to 80. Then you got the bottled and bond, and you have this. So in my end, this is obviously the 114. I like the bottled and bond. I haven't had this in a few years, so my memory is a little hazy. But what's funny about this is when I did not like other high rye bourbons, some reason I did like this one, and my recollection of this, and I'm going to see if this is still correct, because I thought it had a very kind of a thick mouthfeel to it. I definitely remember it being high rye, but for some reason, I didn't say I loved it at the time, but I did like it, certainly better than other high rye bourbons. But now that I'm into high rye bourbons, I would imagine I would like this better. I did like the bottled and bond, and it was something I thought also made a great old fashioned. So we'll get into some other stuff in a minute, but just the basic facts about this. This is what's amazing about this. It is the same mash bill as Basil Hayden. It is the same mash bill, but this one here, I got this for $30. So in my book, that is $10+ less than Basil Hayden and 34 proof points higher, because Basil Hayden is 80 proof. I don't know why that entire line is 80 proof, but it is. So I mean, $30 less than $10+ less than Basil Hayden, and 34 proof points higher. And the bottled and bond is even less money than this. So these are just great deals. I think it's a great value. So Stillery is Jim Beam, 114 proof, no age statement, but I have my notes from when I did the bonded, and the feel is it's about 4 years, give or take. The mash bill is the old Grandad mash bill, and it is the same mash bill as I said of Basil Hayden. 63% corn, 27% rye, 10% malted barley. 27% rye is definitely a high rye mash bill. And this very famous face here, that is old Grandad. That is Meredith Basil Hayden Sr. That is the picture. So this brand was created by Raymond B. Hayden and is named after his grandfather, Meredith Basil Hayden Sr. So those are the facts. Let's get this in a glass and get started. Okay, so we got this poured up. There was a decent cork pop. Definitely one of the thicker corks around. This bottle just has a very kind of a thick feel to it, but it is definitely one of the thicker corks that I see. Just one quick thing, just a side note as far as where I did get this. It was Total Wine up in North Jersey, not too far from my office. Like I said, I've not seen it in many places. I don't think this is as available. So right out of the bat, I would think if you have a choice between the difference of the bonded and this, without even tasting this, the old Grandad bonded is going to be a lot more available, as is the 80 proof I never even bothered with. But the bonded, I think, is a lot more available. You just don't see this. That's why I have not seen this in several years. Also, this is a notation here that every bottle has a lot number. This says lot number 1. That's just interesting. I have not seen that other than when there's a specific batch or something like that. I'm not sure what that means. But in any event, I can already, as soon as I open this, I can smell that rice spice coming out of here. It definitely, it's just one of those that you just know, there's proof there. It's not that I'm getting ethanol, but there's proof, and there's a certain smell. You just know this got a lot of rye in it, and this is one of them. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. This is good. This has, that's got, it's weird. I mean, I've been tasting a lot of, bourbons, and whiskeys north of 120 proof recently, but at 114, this has got some, it's got some heat with it. I think this thing, some people say, do they drink higher or lower? To me, I think this drinks even higher than 114 proof, because I've had proofs of 120 that this feels definitely stronger than. There's something that this is reminding me of, just in terms of a bourbon that may drink even above its proof. I'm thinking, of course, is the Wild Turkey. You think of the Wild Turkey one. And now note, this has, when you say a high rye bourbon, people say that Wild Turkey is. This is definitely a higher rye bourbon than Wild Turkey is, no doubt. I think Wild Turkey is at least 10% less rye than this. It's 27%. So this is definitely more. But it's like one of those that 101 drinks really boldly. Wild Turkey drinks boldly, and this Old Grandad drinks boldly. I think the Bonded does too, but this is 114, has some punch to it. Let's give it some of the taste. In terms of taste, there's definitely, your vanilla, your caramel, a little bit of cinnamon. You definitely get a nice healthy dose of rice spice, no doubt about it. This would make an excellent old fashioned. This thing has some legs. It does have that thick mouthfeel that I do recall, and you can even, I don't know if you can see it, but there's definitely some legs on this stuff. This thing is right all over the side of the glass. This does feel, my recollection is 100% right. This has a very thick mouthfeel to me. It's almost like you're drinking syrup. I'm not saying that in a bad way. When you make a comparison, I think of, and this is interesting, same distillery. I'm going to give you two different comparisons. Jim Beam. You drink the white label and even the black label, which I like better than the white label, but I always feel those have very, very thin mouthfeels, and I really do believe that they do. Whereas this, you're not talking, it's definitely more expensive, but this is not an expensive bottle per se compared to others. And this has a much thicker mouthfeel. You can just see the way it just coats the glass here. Nice color, by the way. What I'd like to do, I don't have one currently, but I can always get one. Really, really, really thick here. I'd like to compare this head to head with the Old Grandad Bonded. A lot of people have done those comparisons. In my head, I do recall that, I did like the Bonded. I like this. I thought the Bonded made an excellent old fashioned. I'd like to see how this makes an old fashioned. I think this will make an excellent old fashioned. This is cool, more than a lot stand out. But I'd like to see how the Bonded compares to this. Now, my own opinion is, as I said just before, regardless of how that comparison goes, I think the Bonded, at least in my area, and probably a lot of other areas, I think the Bonded is going to be more available. I think this is a lot less available. In fact, at one point, I think in 2016, they were almost going to discontinue this, but it stayed on, and definitely has a following. I know among people on TikTok here. This is definitely something that a lot of people want on their shelf. I'm happy I have it now. So in the coming days, week, whatever it'll be, going to compare this against the Bonded at some point. Try an old fashioned, but this is $30 and 34 proof points higher than the Basil Hayden. That's $10+ more than this. This is a buy every day whenever you see it. Cheers, everyone. Take care. Thanks for watching.